Oh no, I got nothing for you. I got nothing. I don't. Come here, you. Mama. Good mama, that's where the fun is. Hi guys. Well, I'm coming out here to say goodbye to some of my friends. We're having tree guys come and get rid of some trees that are no longer healthy, and trim back. I'll show you what we're gonna do here. Hold on. Okay, so we got this one pecan tree, and we're gonna take this down because we're actually having a building put in here. There's a pear tree, which we love the pears, but we don't eat them, and that's gonna kind of be a little bit in the way of the building. That one we struggled over because they're just nice, they're nice to have. What happens with the pear tree, I'm going around to the other side. What happens with the pear tree is they all get ripe almost all at the same time. And we might only eat 1 or 2 pears. So, okay. Next is going to be this cedar tree. That's this one. That's encroaching on everything. That's going to come out. And then this beautiful pine tree, we're going to trim the lower branches up. A lot of the pine trees get trimmed like that. What's happening now is just all branches are breaking down and breaking off. I'll show you in another video about this branch. And then this sucker, that's a pecan tree also, and it's just not healthy. And then we have these little shoot type trees. We're going to take care of those ourselves because we don't want to run up the bill. So I'm hoping that the birds, hold on. Okay, we're probably going to trim about 7 branches. Now this branch here is up to my chest, and I've talked about these pine cones before. They've been here since we moved in. These beautiful pine cones here. You can see I got plenty that drop all over the ground. These ones have been here. We call them our weather pine cones because if it's cold and rainy they close up. And then you can see the new pine cones coming in next to it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip these off because this branch is going. And I want to save our weather pine cones. We're oddly sentimental like that. So I'm hoping that the birds aren't mad at me when we're done. I kind of feel like, you see these woods behind me? They all mostly live back there, and then they come out into our yard. Of course, while I'm saying that, I don't know if you can even see it. Let me see if I can zoom in. There's a woodpecker eating this tree. Yeah, I guess it doesn't zoom that way. There's a woodpecker up there, and he's hitting the tree. But this is not a tree that we're getting rid of. I think he's here somewhere. Let's see if I can turn you around again. Well, just as I was zooming in, hold on. As I was zooming into the tree, he left. That's how animals are. As soon as you zoom in to see them, they leave. This is a big holly tree. All the birds like to land in there to scope out the area before they commit to coming down. So I'm not going to do anything with that. The guy says that that's healthy enough. And I'm just coming over here because this pecan tree, we had our hammock attached to this post and that tree, and they were going to leave the tree to be the other post in the hammock. And then I said to my husband, well, if there's no shade, we're not going to lie in the hammock out in the blaring sun. So I'm pretty sure this is going to go entirely. And we'll just set up the hammock somewhere else. So we're waiting on them. They called and said they're going to be here around lunchtime. So it's almost 12:30. I'll show you around later. I think he's at the bottom of the pear tree, right? Yeah. Oh, Timber! Alright, so I'm gonna just record the garden a little while. We had some tree work done and the birds disappeared for a couple days, which made me a little upset. But we put new food out, we got things going again, and they seem to be back, so very happy about that. Oops. Yeah, I've toyed around with the thought of getting like some type of bird cam. I just really don't like being tied into like subscriptions and paying over and over for things, because I tend to lose track of things like that, and then next thing you know, it's like I realize I've been paying however much for something that either I don't use or whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna let this run a little bit. I haven't crafted. I actually think, I know this is gonna sound weird, but I actually think that I was a little depressed about losing some trees. You know, some of the trees were like scraggly and not healthy, but the birds loved them, and the birds hung out in them while they scoped out to make sure that it was safe to come down. And really, like, I don't know what it is. I'm going to say a 50-foot holly tree that's right in front of me. And they fly in there, and then they look around and they wait. There's a pine tree back there, and I had probably about 8 really large branches. Some were broken, and one, hung down to the ground, and blocked a whole bunch of light. There's 2 peach trees back there that I want to see if they can produce healthy fruit. And they definitely weren't getting any light. So this little landscape of mine is going to be changing as we go. But I do want to keep that section back there as like a little, I don't know if you call it a grotto or, just a little secluded area where birds can come and get fed and watered and do their thing. been really enjoying. We loaded up the feeders. We put new peanuts out. I had removed all my statuary that was under the pine tree because I didn't want a huge branch to come crashing down on it. Loving it. It's weird. Sometimes I have to like force myself to sit here and just take it in. And I think that's really good for me. Like a lot of times I'll craft out here and I'm not even looking up, and I know that's kind of a little bit of waste, but I know they're out there. I told my husband we're going to have to really try and figure out a budget for the bird seed and the peanuts and stuff. We do have local farmers that grow peanuts and then they sell the raw peanuts in a mesh bag, which is probably, the best way to buy them. The problem is storing them. When you have a huge bag of peanuts, like bigger than a pillowcase, you can't just leave them all. You have to kind of make sure they're somewhere where they're not getting moist. We'll figure it out. Oh, we got birds taking peanuts right off the windowsill. This makes me so happy because we had 4 trees taken down. 2 because they were going to be in the way of a carport that we're putting up. 1 because it was not in great shape, and even though we didn't want to take it down, we knew that years from now it might be something we couldn't do. And then there was another cedar back in the back, like around this area, that was just really messy and right up against everything. The only thing is the birds did use that as like a stopover, and the squirrels used that. So I think probably the squirrels were probably the most affected. But now if you look in the background here, let's see if I can, in the way back, that's somebody else's property. So most of the living that the birds do is in that back property. And then they just kind of zoom in to do their thing with the feeders and the water and like that. So, my guess is that some of them maybe could nest here. I've only seen like 1 nest in this backyard that was much older. It was in a bush that I was hacking at. There are some nests in the front yard, and but I think that mostly the birds don't live here. They just come here. They live very close by. Oh, there's a woodpecker down on the ground and he's chasing away a blue jay. Well, I could probably do this all day long, but it wouldn't get anything else done, so I'm gonna sign off and get this video up, and hopefully I'll be doing some crafting soon. I got a little funky there over the whole trees. There's a lot to think about, like tree-wise, wildlife-wise, and then of course money-wise. You know, you have to pay to have all this done, and you know, I think that's that can weigh on you, even if you feel like you're making the right decisions. You know, because we did all that, and then our one car is laid up now for a few days. It's in pieces in the driveway, so of course that's how that works. One step forward and 2 steps back, but we're doing all right, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a great day.